Ladies, I am here tonight on this. And tonight we're here to talk about NBA. A lot of news going on. The draft is tomorrow. Trades have happening. Dennis Schroeder going to the Lakers. Robert Covington going to the Portland Blazers. Chris Paul going to the Phoenix Suns. Drew Holiday going to the Milwaukee Bucks. A lot of stuff going on. Now there's a trade report. The Celtics could trade Kemba Walker. Obviously, the Rockets trying to shop both Russell Westbrook and James Harden. There's talk they could send Russell Westbrook to Washington for John Wall. There's talks, obviously, about James Harden possibly either going to Philadelphia or the Brooklyn Nets. There's a lot of stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of stuff going on. But those are appear to be the big Those are appear to be the big three names available in the trading right now. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Kemba Walker. Apparently, there's talks about There's talks about possibly the Celtics trying to get on the James Harden sweepstakes, and if they have to move Kemba Walker's contract, there's talks about a three-way trade that would send Kemba Walker to Chicago and James Harden to Boston, and then draft picks and role players to Houston. So a lot of stuff going on right now, man. A lot of stuff going on as we are really getting here officially here in NBA free agency. And it's draft coming up tomorrow. But a lot of stuff going on. But let's see what's gonna happen. The biggest one is obviously James Harden. Should the Nets? Apparently, there's a report. Houston is negotiating high. They said even either Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. Tammy, I think that's how you negotiate from the start. If your house is worth, $5 million, you try to sell it for $10 million, and then you go down. So that's how you start negotiating. You have to be dramatic, and then you go down, because otherwise, if your house is $5 million and you're trying to sell it for more, you go 10, 15 million, then you work yourself down. So that's how you start negotiating. So right now they're asking for Kyrie Irving and or Kevin Durant. Obviously, that's not what they're gonna get, but that they're sending them a message. Hey, this is we're shooting high here. If we're gonna trade you James Harden, we want big stuff. So now there's talks about, okay, obviously they said no Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Durant, but now apparently everybody else is available, multiple draft picks. They're saying everybody except James Harden, except Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant is available. So I think this trade may happen. There's also some reports that don't be surprised if Harden by December 1st, when training camps start, he's a Houston Rocket. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, apparently now the Nets have said, well, we're not going to give you that guy, obviously, but apparently everybody else is available. So Chris LeVert and Spencer D. Whittle and all the draft picks. So this, because they trade all their draft picks for Chris Paul Pierce and Kevin Durant. Are they going to do it again? Are they going to trade all their draft picks again and all half of their team for James Harden? They did it. They did this before. So are they going to do it again? Now that was stupid because they were washed up. Both Chris Paul and I believe it was Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry for a bunch of draft picks, if I'm not mistaken. So now it would just be James Harden. Unless they go super crazy again and try to get both James Harden and Russell Westbrook. No, you can't do that because you already got a point. Oh shit! You already got a point guard and Kyrie Irving. So it would just be James Harden. But I believe that was a different owner when they did that shit. But they're not. They did this in the past. They sell the entire house. They gave away the entire farm for Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry, and Chris Paul. Paul Pierce. So maybe they'll do it again. They'll give up the entire farm away for James Harden. Obviously, with the exception of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. We'll see what happens. If you're Houston, you got to go. If you're not obviously going to get the equal value. But that's a lot of nice pieces. What you want if you're Houston is draft picks. That's what the Celtics got. Draft picks. That's what the Thunder got for Paul George and what's that other guy's name? Paul George and Dennis Schroeder. They got draft picks. Or for Russell Westbrook, draft picks. You want draft picks. So if they're willing to give you 2 to 3 first round picks, I think you do it. Man. Because I don't think you're going to get a first round pick for Westbrook. It seems like the best option for Westbrook. It seems like the best option right now is even Charlotte said, the Hornets said, yeah, we're interested in him, but we're not giving you a first round pick. So it looks like you're not going to get a first round pick for Westbrook. Worst case scenario, they're going to get John Wall for Westbrook. So you're going to try to get, you have to squeeze all the lemon juice out of Harden and try to get multiple draft picks, first round picks in return for James Harden, because it looks like you're not getting shit for Russell Westbrook as far as draft picks go, first round picks go. So if they offer you, the problem is that they're going to be shitty at picks because they're going to be contending for championships. So they're going to be like in the top 25, possibly in the 29, 20, 30. That's the problem with Houston, that they're not going to be. You know how the NBA? Look at this draft. It's fucking Anthony Edwards, LaMelo, and James Wiseman. Then you got that get from Israel, Dilly Dolo, whatever the hell his name is. But by pick 5, it's over. It's a bunch of fucking hit and miss guys. That's the problem with the NBA. It's not like the NFL where you can get a fucking Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, a fucking Tom Brady in the 6th round. That's not how the NBA works. So that's the problem with this shit. That you can get a bunch of draft picks, but they're gonna be in the fucking shithole. They're gonna be in the lower 25, 30, because the Nets are gonna be competing for championships for the next 3 years if they have Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden and company. So that's what Houston's got to think about. Yeah, it looks nice having all these, maybe 2 or 3 first round picks, but they're all going to be in the shithole. So maybe you trade up. I don't know. Maybe you get creative and try to trade up with somebody else. I don't know what the hell you do, because it worked for the Celtics because they were washed up. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, they were washed up. So the picks, they didn't do that good. They were always like getting eliminated in the 2nd round. So that's why the picks were actually much better for the Celtics. But for the Rockets, I don't think the picks were really that good because all 3 guys are in the middle of their prime. Harden, Durant, and Kyrie Irving. They're on the middle of their prime. So the picks are going to be in the lower 25. So if you're Houston, Tim, and Fertitta, and the rest of that front office, you got to really scratch your ass, even if you don't have handroids, and wonder what the hell you want to do. Maybe Philadelphia would be a better option. Maybe Ben Simmons and maybe a 1st or 2 first-round picks. I think that would be a better option, Philadelphia, to be honest, because Philadelphia has a better chance of not, having a little bit of a, their draft are not going to be like super low. They still might be low, but not like in the 25-30 range. But I don't know. And you get Ben Simmons, so if you can you can build a team maybe like Milwaukee with Giannis, with Ben Simmons, and just surround them with 3-point shooters. I don't know. I think that might make more sense for Houston. Philadelphia for Ben Simmons, and James Harden goes to Philadelphia. That's just me. I just think the Nets, unless, if Spencer Dinwiddie or Chris LeVert become a superstar, I don't know. I think it makes more sense to send them to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons and maybe 1 or 2 first round picks. But we'll see what happens. Until next time, I'm out like a light.